Not in a minute.
Oh,
When
good,
we've
because
gone live.
I'm in no rush.
Right, it's on. We should be there now. From Wiltshire in England, it's hello from Stephen, and
From Vincent, hello.
And good evening, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Now we've got a bigger time difference than usual because Vincent, you're on Mountain Time, aren't you?
I'm on Mountain Time. Yeah, it's 11 in the morning right now.
And it's 6 p.m. in the UK, and it's 1 p.m. on the east coast of America. So we say hello to everybody who's watching, and I'm just watching your picture at the moment. And just a second. Yeah. Okay. It's getting clearer. We might need to experiment with this one. So Steve Healy in Wiltshire, England, Vincent in Colorado, and we are, because we just talked about this last week, didn't we? We're looking for a name, and you did some research. So can you expand on the name that we're using?
It was funny, you and I were talking about across the pond, and that's certainly being used before. That's a hashtag and so forth. So we wanted something a little bit more original. And I thought pond, across, transpond. So I actually did a little search on that, and transpondian is actually a word referring to someone who is on the other side of the pond, basically, or traversing the other side of the pond. It has a couple meanings. So it's kind of a cool name. and we quickly agreed on that.
Oh yeah, we did. Because the thing is, you always check, as you did, you check Google out and find out how it's going to sit. And as we do more of these videos, then we know that if you search for Transpondians, you will find us on Google, and you'll find us in videos as well. So from that point of view, we just need to get people to remember the word Transpondians, and we're findable now. Our plan for this show is several-fold, isn't it? Because we bring different talents to the table on this one.
Hi, Vince.
I think that's going to make for a really well-rounded show, because we have yourself, who is one of the real leading-edge people in the live stream world.
Thank you.
And on the technology side, quite a bit of knowledge, and gaining more all the time through some of the guests that you have on your show. And then I come from a music side of it, and art, and I know that you have elements of that in your life as well. Yeah, so it's cool, and to be able to connect with the UK and the London area and that region is it's so fun for me. I can't think really of a better location. And in the couple of shows that we've done prior, being guests on each other's shows, it was pretty evident that we work well together.
Oh, indeed, we understand each other and appreciate each other, and we push each other as well, because, doing this, we make it look easy, hopefully, but it does take a certain just do it attitude, that we know that when we're live broadcasting, as we were talking before we came on, things are not going to be perfect, and we're prepared for that. But the reason that we're out today with this show and we're going to YouTube is because of the quality, isn't it? We want to be able to bring people on. Because let's step back a minute. Can you just give an explanation of RAMP, which is the logo, which is down there?
Mm-hmm. RAMP stands for Rising Artist Mentorship Program, and I work with youth in the Colorado area and connect them with youth actually overseas. There's some collaborations happening there. And I work with youth in setting up gigs, teaching them life skills, people skills, the elements that it takes to be a performer, stage presence, promotion. I also teach youth how to be junior broadcasters, interview people, and MC music events. So that in a nutshell is what I do. And I'm always looking for I'm always trying to think outside the box and try new stuff. And I've recently ventured into animation as well.
That's going to become part of the show, because we're mixing art and music with technology. And I'm here partly because of Be Live in 5, which I'm going to show on the screen. Be Live in 5, if you've never been live before and you've never done a live broadcast, then get in contact with Be Live in 5 and we will help you go live for the first time. And it's in 2 parts: a course on Udemy, which is free to take, and then a 15-minute mentorship session. Now, the course on Udemy is based around BeLive.tv. I can see an upcoming course based around Lightstream, which will do similar. So it takes you from not knowing anything about broadcasting to bringing you live, and it's something that I enjoy doing. I think that's true of both of us. We're both fortunate in that we enjoy what we actually do.
We are fortunate. Not everybody can say that they love what they do.
That's true. We know that's true.
And actually, to kind of further that thought, I think that whatever people are doing, I think a way to make it more fun is to go live. And what better way to go live than to be a guest on our show? It's like getting your toe wet, right? Instead of taking on the whole realm of that, you realize being live, you probably want to floss and maybe take a shower, something like that. But yeah, I think that what I found, Stephen, is that it's really helpful having a host, whether it's an audio broadcast interview or conversation online, to have somebody who really likes to hear what the people have to say. And I think that I think it's fair to say we both embody that spirit.
Well, I agree. I mean, the joys of live broadcasting and broadcasting with different people is that you're learning all the time. And we're very fortunate when we do have people on the show, they tend to give a masterclass in their expertise, and you learn as you're actually live. And I often go back to watch the replay, not from any narcissistic point of view, but to actually, because when you're live, you don't actually hear every word because you're watching everything. So I listen to the replay, and I learn a lot from the replay as well. And that's why the replays are important. If you're watching the replay, welcome, and thank you for watching. If you want any help, either with Ramp or with Be Live in 5, we can help you in that way. Yeah?
I want to interject, if I may.
Yeah.
Just looking at my screen, this is definitely a high-tech thing happening. You are the host of the show. Now, my screen, next to the top right, it says offline. Is that only because I'm not producing the show? Is that?
It is. Yeah. No, it's a genuine feature, or bug, as we call them. Okay. You can see the live stream, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stream output. Okay.
So the stream output, that's what's going out to YouTube at the moment.
I'm
just going to decrease the size of the logos. That's the YouTube, and hopefully we are live on YouTube, although at this particular session I can't actually see any comments. This is part of live broadcasting. After we've done the broadcast, we'll report back anything that was a problem. So we'll report back the fact that your screen is not saying we're live, and we'll report back the fact that I can't see the comments. But hopefully we are live on YouTube, and
live now. There it is.
Oh,
yeah, I pulled it up.
Okay.
There it is. Well, I just pulled it up.
Right. Okay. And the brilliant thing is that you can, when you're a guest, you can actually watch the show as well as broadcasting it, broadcasting your own feed. It's on my screen. I've got a lot more going on, as you'll find, because what we're doing with this show, this is important. We're going out to our new YouTube channel, and if you do catch the replay, please subscribe to the channel. That's our first call to action. But what's going to be happening is that 1 week this show will be from Wiltshire in England, and the next week it will be from Colorado. So we're sharing the channel, we're sharing the responsibilities, we're sharing the fun, because there is a different, well, it is different being a guest as to being the host. And we appreciate that, which is why we're sharing it. And we're learning about the platform we're on all the time. And it's just improving. I mean, it's what, 6 to 8 months since we came on here?
I think that's about right.
Yeah. And then we thought, well, we might just get a show out. But now we know that we can come on here and just go live. And I think they've made tremendous strides in the last 8 months to allow us to do that. So kudos to them. All right, now, you mentioned art a moment ago, and I'm going to switch scenes, and hopefully this will go direct to the live broadcast as we go into the art side of this. Now, a bit of background to this. You should be able in a second be able to see.
Oh.
Okay. They're on a timer, so if you could describe them.
There's a gentleman, his name is escaping me right now, but he was really classic cartoonist for Disney and MGM, Preston Blair, I think his name is. And he wrote this book when he was 84, the year before he passed. And he was a real legend in animation. So these are, this is a book I'm working through in improving my drawing skills. I haven't really been someone who's done a lot of drawing, maybe when I was a kid, you know. But in wanting to get more artistic, I started painting a year ago, and this is an example from this book that I, work in the technique of the hip area, the head area, and the shoulder area are basically circles or ovals, and once you get that down and the line of movement, the line of action, you can kind of fill in the details. So yeah, that's the same one that came up there. So that's a fun. That's a fun one. I could see that being making that into a slight variation of that being a character. I am starting to work on an animation series, and I feel that the more pencil daily sketches that I do, obviously, it's only going to improve my how would you say, my animation drawing skills, which currently I'm doing with a mouse, which is a little bit challenging, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. Yeah, so that's one of the drawings from
Right.
that I made from this book.
Okay. Now,
Dogs are pretty cool.
yeah, I'm trying to. I've got the slide running at the moment, and it's supposed to cycle through the slides that you sent me.
I see.
But we appear to be stuck.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to improvise. Oh, actually, is it changing? Oh, it's changed.
I see.
Okay.
That's the beginning of a butterfly that I made. The Colorado state insect, and see the name. What is it called? It's a butterfly.
Right.
Hair strip, something hair. It was an interesting story because a bunch of, I think, middle school kids or elementary school kids lobbied at the state capitol because they wanted this butterfly to be the state insect, and it is. So that's pretty cool. So that was a beginning drawing, basically, in Moho is the name of the animation software, which is just really impressive software. I am really having a ball with that. And basically what you can do, and I mean, there's a lot of different ways to draw, obviously.
Okay.
And I did quite a bit more than just press a button and that popped up. I basically, I think that's the same picture that came up. But basically, it allows you to import a picture in a PNG format, and basically you can trace over it. So that's what I did with the mouse. I traced over that picture that I imported with my mouse. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, considering I've never really drawn with a mouse before.
No, I would find it difficult.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Precision.
Yeah, the computer does, and you can change the. It puts these vector points. You're basically drawing a vector, which I'm learning about vectors. I couldn't spell vector 2 weeks ago, but like when you draw that line, like the top wing of the butterfly there. Once that's drawn, that line is going to have like about 5 points on it that you can then adjust the precision. So once you draw it, you can always manipulate where that is. Well, this is cool. We're scrolling through some of these, so we're delving into the animation here. This is Kiana, who lives here in Colorado. She and her friend Jackie are, through their parents, two artists that I'm working with. And I thought what really, Stephen, got me into the animation idea, I mean, I've been interested in animation for years. My older brother, Jim, has done claymation and stop motion photography.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Really fun stuff. And I've always enjoyed what he's done with that. This is a unique way to promote the artists, really trying to do something different and think outside the box. So this is, and it's funny because I changed quite a bit to that in the learning process. Her face kind of looks like the color of an alien or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that was fun. That was a photograph that she sent that I so that's the very first attempt at drawing digitally right there. That's Jackie.
Right.
And it's cool because you can see the dots if you look closely at that picture.
Yeah, I can see them.
Like the dots, and those are points that you can manipulate. It's really in different ways. You can move the dot, you can move the line, you can adjust the curves and so forth. So once you get the basic drawing, it's cool in respect. Like a pencil, you'd have to pull out the eraser, which is fine. But you don't need the eraser tool in this. You just move the lines around a little bit, you know. It's a real challenge. I mean, it's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of concentration. And And then after that, you look at coloring it. So when you saw the one of Jackie, like I had to try to figure out what color to use, and um, yeah, so that's a work in progress still. That's the butterfly with a little bit of color added to it. So you can kind of see, you can pick out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Appreciate you showing all this.
My pleasure. I mean, I'm in awe because I don't have an artistic bone in my body, and for you to be able to do this, and as you say, you've got the Moho program, but that's having a piece of software helps, but you've got to have artistic ability to actually make, or creative and artistic ability to actually make use of it, and I bow to you on that.
Thank you.
But my apologies. The slides seem to be coming up in a random order.
Okay.
I mean, what I would like is the drawings and then the finished article. But
I see.
we should get this sorted for next week. There is a button, strangely enough, which says you can do them in random order, but I'm not. And are we back to?
Not sure which one that is. Oh, that's actually the dog that you saw, but a prior version of it. Like that was. Okay. You can kind of see the circles, the 3 ovals that I drew.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. It's not in the order that you set it up.
No.
I think there's a really good moment to mention to folks that this is incredible technology. Hats off to Stu and all the folks at Lightstream. And I know that, there are shows that don't go in exactly the way we intend them to. I think it's real easy to take technology for granted once we have it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, 200 years ago, somebody saw, you can name a number of things. I mean, I remember watching Star Trek in the 70s. And there was this crazy scene that it was laughable. It seemed so impossible because Captain Kirk had this it was bigger than his head, and he's talking into this device, and the people on the ship can hear him. And you're like, that's just too crazy. And now we have, how close are we to implants and all that scary stuff?
Oh, but, it's scary. Some countries do have implants at the moment, for medical reasons, so your actual medical history travels with you wherever you are.
Yeah.
But the story from today, Angelica went for a walk and she had her phone switched off, and Google knew where she'd been. The phone was off. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even switched on because she was walking about town, didn't need the phone. And Google knows exactly where we are at any time of day. We are near to if we're near to our phones, yeah. This technology is mind-blowing, really. I mean, it's, well, for want of a better word, it's a bit scary, really.
So as somebody immersed in the tech world, how do you see it going? Like, I mean, there's a big responsibility there, the gentleman who just fired the Tesla toward Mars, Elon Musk, he has some interesting things to say about that.
He does. I mean, he's a fascinating guy. I mean, he's got himself in a position where he can have an idea and he can bring that idea to fruition, or somebody can go to him with an idea and bring it to fruition. To be able, as a private citizen, to be able to send a rocket into space, it's just incredible. I mean, if we look back at the moon landing, which the technology that came from that, spin-offs from that, and the technology that's in use today, we are living in an age where it's difficult to keep up.
Yeah. And it's only getting faster, right?
Well, it is, because he's also got or looking for permission to do the train that can go. Well, it can go fast. That's what I'm going to say.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's a maglev train, and that can get you from New York to LA in no time at all. It's not an overnight journey or a 2-day journey to get. They're just doing a test at the moment. They want permission to do, I think, a 10-mile track. And once they've got that, then the Jetsons. Do you remember the Jetsons?
I remember the Jetsons.
we're headed there. We're there in a lot of ways, because the technology is just moving so fast, and it's an enjoyable time to be here because things are coming along so quickly and making life so simple. And as we both marvel at the fact that you can be sat there in Colorado and I'm sat here in the UK and we're talking away in high definition, going live to the world one day. But it's totally amazing, totally amazing. Now, as for my technology, I can't actually show it you. I'm about a couple of months ago got interested in messenger bots. Now, you may have come across them in that they help you keep in contact with your customers. The traditional way of doing marketing was to get everybody to sign up to your email list. And the money, the marketing saying was, the money's in the list. And the more people you've got on your email list, then you can market to them, you can send out broadcast messages, and somebody, so numbers game, if you send out a message saying this widget is $10, but only for the next 48 hours, buy it now, some people would. And it's all the numbers game. It's not very personal though, because email, if I get an email today and it's urgent, I'll reply straight away. If it's not, I'll reply later in the day or even tomorrow. Whereas with Messenger, we've been trained. If I get a Facebook Messenger message, I get a notification of it, I go to it straight away. Mm-hmm. What's your approach on Messenger?
Well, it's funny because I try to wait. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna not check this for a while. But if it's a message from somebody, it could be business related and really important that I get back to them. So I'm usually right on that. I mean, if there's a notification that's not an actual message directly to me, I try to hold off till once a day. I can't say I've been real successful with that lately.
Well, no, but we are. I mean, since Facebook Messenger arrived, we've got a response. If it's personal, it's coming to us, then we'll respond to it in a timely fashion. And that's where the Messenger service comes in, because you can now automate part of Messenger. In other words, I can set up a landing page for Be Live in 5. I can give you a link to that landing page, and you'll be told about Be Live in 5 and what we do and how we help you. And you can watch a short video explaining what we do. And then there's a button at the bottom which says Send to Messenger. And you press that button and you get a personal message, personalized message from Be Live in 5, and you're then in a situation where you're in direct contact with the Be Live in 5. So you get a message. If you reply for that message, then you've effectively opted in, just like we used to do on email. And once you've done that, then you can, as a customer, you can ask questions. As a service provider, you can have a real meaningful discussion. Yeah. So the bots do the first bit. The second bit is totally personal because you get involved. Yeah.
I see. So when I first got into Be Live, the first message that I received was from a bot.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after that, it was a real person.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool because I didn't know, and I didn't really need to know. It didn't matter that, like, it wasn't less important to me that the very first initiatory connection was with a bot, because it was a message, and I knew that message had somebody behind it, basically.
Oh yeah, you're quite right there, because somebody's created that message. It's not, the bot's not done that. The wording,
we haven't reached singularity yet. We haven't reached that.
the wording, the pictures used, the videos used have all been put together by the person who's actually operating the messenger bot. And talking to RJ yesterday, and that was a great show, we agreed that you can't just do the robotic bit and leave it. What you do have to do is you've got to step in and be personal. And that's something I'm learning. I mean, we're learning it all the time. And I sent out a message earlier this week to Be Live in 5, everybody who's signed up. And it was a personal message. and I got responses straight away because it was a personal message offering to do something for people. As a result of that message, within 10 minutes, I'd shared 2 videos on the Be Live in 5 page from people who watch Be Live in 5. And then the following day, I had a private session, a testing session live on video again, and that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't sent out a personalized message. So it does bring actions to bear, and people get involved. And some people say, okay, I just wanted to make sure you were actually talking to me, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. But as I say, several people said, okay, how can you help us, and what are you going to do? And we made arrangements for that to take place. So messenger bots are not cold, cool, and calculating if the people behind them are not cold, cool, and calculating. They are a personal approach, really, and it's just making contact. I mean, you're making contact by going to a landing page, finding out more about the organization, and you've got the choice: do I press that button or not? And if the text and the picture and the video don't attract you, then you won't press the button. Yeah.
I'm getting, because I'm speaking with you in the UK, I'm getting this image of a like a butler coming to the door. And just like say, yes, may I help you? Yeah. I'll be right.
Indeed.
You know, sort of like just a connection. Like, that's not, the butler is nice to have there, but he's not the one that you're there to see, but he's initiating opening the door, so to speak. That's
it. Yeah, good analogy. I like that one. Can I borrow it?
For $1? For £3?
Oh yeah, good. Right, okay. A pound is now $1.50. Exchange rates is a whole different discussion. We're not getting into politics. Politics, sex, and religion are 3 things that do not do well on live video.
And we actually have that that's an agreement between us of this show, which is fantastic. Yeah, we don't need. There's plenty of other people talking about that. We don't need to.
Oh, true. I mean, your history is back in radio as well, isn't it? But you weren't a shock jock.
Oh no, I was working with youth musicians. No, I was quite the opposite. This is as family friendly as you can get. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that, because there was this one time where this artist came in and they wanted me to record a song for them, and I was pretty naive as far as what was going to go down, and she started singing the song and there were cuss words in it, and I came so close to just pulling the plug, and I was like, well, we've already started. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Like, that's just being darn lazy if you've got to cuss in your music and stuff like that. There's so many words. I'm a word guy. Like, I'm a word geek. I proudly can tell you that, and I'll play word games, and there's just a lot of cool ways to express yourself in our lexicon. See, that's one of my favorite words. I got to use it.
That's a good word.
And I'm really into alliteration. I think that's really fun. So a friend of mine and I will, if we're in conversation out and about, we'll pick a letter of the alphabet and use that to start as many words as possible, but keeping the flow of the conversation. So other people around us wouldn't even know what we're doing, but we would have a letter that we're using kind of between the two of us to throw in there that fits the realm of the conversation. But yeah, so it's nice that we're keeping those other things out of it. And this is a fun. There's a lot of. I think it's safe to say that two of us are creators, and we want to certainly encourage other people to be creators.
I mean, we're in this sort of situation where we're alternating the broadcast, means that we can outgun each other in the politest way. I mean, I'm looking forward to next week's show, because it's going to be totally different from this week's show, and that's the thing. We can mix it up on a week by week basis.
Right. Yeah. Right. Oh, that's true, because you're referring to the hosting aspect of it, and certainly part of that equation is how well the servers are doing at the time for that day. But yeah, it's completely different because I'm just kicking back and having this great conversation with you, and you're at the controls, like you're in the cockpit, and I'm sort of in the first class, just kind of kicking back and drinking my water.
Yeah, well, it is first class. It's first class treatment. Yeah. So, have you given thought to who's going to be on the show next week?
I have not. You.
Right. I'll definitely be here. I'll definitely be here.
I've got. That's a good question, and I was going to ask you about that and how we wanted to. Well, that's interesting. I would say that probably whoever's doing the hosting for that week would be the person to line up whatever guests they want to have on.
Correct.
And this being the first show, it's kind of nice to just have, the two of us here.
Set the scene. Yeah.
Kind of setting the scene up. And I think in a nutshell, like what I just mentioned about how we really want to give a platform for people to, couple things. First, have the experience of being on live, on a live video broadcast in an environment where you're not going to get talked over.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned the radio broadcast. I mean, that's something that I really learned quick, was that you really need to give space to people, for people to explain what they're doing, especially if they're a little bit nervous and haven't really done it before. And certainly that's the case when I had like 7 to 17-year-olds on the live radios. Yeah. It was pretty exciting being on live radio. Yeah, I've got plenty of people in mind. The people that may have heard the intro music, unbelievable talent. And I just met him like a couple weeks ago. His name is Branson. He's 15, and you would really dig talking to this fella. And I'm going to talk to his mom about getting him on, because not only is he a brilliant musician on piano, I've never met anybody like him. I was just completely floored. He also does coding.
Oh, wow.
And he does robotics.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not going to say any more than that, because I want him to talk. I'm going to talk to his mom. He's a little bit, like anybody, I think a little bit shy about being live, but that's completely normal. But I think that very well-spoken young guy. So that, and certainly Emma Marie, who you've met.
Yes.
Online.
She brought that show to life with her singing.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And I had her meet Branson last week, and everybody was completely blown away. I knew it was going to happen. I knew everybody's jaw was just going to hit the floor. Between him playing piano and her singing, they were just improvising and doing stuff, and they will be performing together soon. I've got a gig coming up in a couple weeks, and hopefully they'll be a part of that together. Yeah. Plenty of Jackie and Kiana that we saw the animation for, the artwork. I've got many, many ideas regarding that. Well,
the one thing we're going to be able to do with this show is to follow our journeys in parallel on video, but we have, as we said at the beginning, different interests and abilities, and we're bringing those to each show, and you'll see, hopefully, that we can blend it all together and bring the art and the music and the technology and tell our story, because that's the whole thing about live video, isn't it? I mean, when we first got together and I came on your show, you told my story, and I was blown away by the fact that you told my story through, it was just magical. I mean, to recount it, I sent you photographs from that had been taken of the town I live in, which is Devizes in Wiltshire, and then of things that happened in recent years, and you put them together, and you took me through it, well, seamlessly, stage by stage, and I was telling my story as we went along, and it was a great experience. I've got to say that I've used the same technique as well since, but that's a compliment.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's that was pretty fun, and for people that want to do a similar thing, these platforms make it pretty easy. I think once you have the idea of how you want to do that, help tell somebody's story, because we can hear you talk, and obviously you're well spoken, and at the same time, if they're seeing a picture of you hanging out with your friends at Stonehenge, which you live 20 20 miles away, 20 minutes, 20 miles or 20
20
minutes?
miles away, yeah.
20 miles away. I don't know how many kilometers that is, like 8.7. That was a wild guess. I have no, probably more like 9.
No, you could do
10.2.
32 kilometers.
Oh, that's right. I went the other way. It's gone the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell I've never been to UK, unfortunately. Yeah. A lot of possibilities for that.
Indeed. Right. Okay. So I think we've sort of given an overview of what the show is going to be about, and that we're going to host it alternate weeks, and I will bring guests on, you will bring guests on, and we've made a conscious decision to go live on YouTube because the thing about YouTube is that it's got 1 billion users, totally different audience, and we want to bring not one person broadcast, but live shows where you actually see people doing something which is of interest to YouTube. And I've no doubt that somewhere down the road we'll have more and more people until the studio is full.
So people that aren't familiar with Lightstream, tell them how many people you can have on the show at a time.
Right. Okay. On Lightstream, you can have 8 people at a time. And you lower the resolution to do that, but it's eminently possible to have 8 people. We've had 4 people on, no problems at all. Also, you can share images, as we've been doing today, and text, as you can see. With the text, it can be different colours, be different fonts. I've mixed it up a bit today. I've gone to town, but just wait till you see next week's. You can share a slideshow. In other words, you can upload say 10 to 12 photos, and then they will show in sequence. You can set a timer so that the slides change every minute or every 30 seconds, depends how you want to do it. And sometimes they will show up at random, as we found out today. You can screen share, so you can have another copy of the browser open, and you can share your screen, and you can give people a guided tour of a browser or of an application. And then in addition to that, as we're doing today, we're going out to YouTube from this platform. You can go to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But because we're going out on RTMP today, we're going out, it's just better. It's better technology. We're going direct to YouTube with no third parties involved in broadcasting. And it means that you can go live from this platform to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. You don't need to change the setting here. All you need to do is change your destination, and you can go live. And it's as simple as that. You can 1 person, 8 people. Works the same. That's the sales bit over. But we love Lightstream. I would like to say thank you.
Yeah, and repurposing. So that's
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole other topic. There's all sorts of things we're going to be bringing to the table in the next few weeks. So I'm just going to hopefully prove how adaptable and easy to use this platform is, because in a moment, I'm just doing this deftly, not with any precision, but I'm going to send it to live. And you can now see on the screen in the top left-hand corner the Lightstream logo. If you look out for that logo, then that's Lightstream, and you just need to go to golightstream.com. We'll put the link in the YouTube video afterwards. Try it out for yourself. And the beautiful thing, which I forgot to mention, which is remiss of me, is that Lightstream is currently free to use. You can't get better than free.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So all good.
Well, it's exciting, Stephen. I'm really glad we're doing this together, and we're going to learn a lot. And I think one of the new words in the lexicon of entertainment is, I used that word twice in the same show. Oh my God!
Well done. Yep.
Thank you. Oh, now I totally forget. See, I got so excited about using that word, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
It'll come back to you in a minute. I mean, this is live. I mean, when you're live, you've got the situation where, I mean, we both know about dead air, which is why it's brilliant when there are two people on screen, that if you want to take a break for a minute for whatever reason, then the other person can carry on. And as Vincent already knows, I can blab for Britain, as I do every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook in the UK. You can join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll be blabbing for Britain. And you can join us live on camera if you wish. That's if we can get Peter off camera. Sometimes difficult. How was that?
That was great. And edutainment is the word that I was thinking of. We will be, that's what we're about, edutainment, educating and entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And to everybody who watches this, we've got two words to say. Thank
you.
Exactly. See, so this is, shall we?
Sure.
Yep. Well, we've got a sort of tradition that one of us will open the show, and that's the person who's hosting the show. And I'm going to throw this over to Vincent now. I'm going to say from Wiltshire in England, bye for now, and hand over to Vincent to close.
Thank you all for watching. This is going to be a weekly show. We really hope you join us, and we're looking for having some great guests on the show. So from the Rocky Mountains, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.